Welcome to episode number 321, where today I'm taking questions from you, the listeners, and I answer questions on the Ayurvedic perspective on alcohol, low blood sugar, cellulite, and how to deal with muscle cramps and spasms. So please stay tuned. Hi there, I'm your host Colette, and on this podcast I will be sharing the teachings of Ayurveda, yoga, and holistic health practices. Now, if you're new to Ayurveda, I recommend checking out the first couple of episodes where I do an introduction to Ayurveda and the mind-body types. Thanks for listening, and now here's a new episode. Today's show is sponsored by one of my favorite Ayurvedic companies, Banyan Botanicals. They're a certified B Corporation that carries Ayurvedic herbs and wellness products, all made with organic, fairly traded, and sustainably sourced ingredients. Now, I have especially been loving their new Bitter and Bold drink mix. Bitter and Bold is a rich and robust herbal coffee alternative with a hint of cacao for a delicious flavor. Listeners, here's your invitation to try out Bitter and Bold and stock your home with effective herbal formulas from Banyan, so you can sleep better, stress less, and stay healthy and grounded, no matter what life throws your way. If you're located outside the US, you can find Banyan's full line at the Vedic store or Ayurvedic Herbs Direct. For those of you in the US, save 15% on your first order when you shop at banyanbotanicals.com/elements. Just go to www.banyanbotanicals.com/elements and enter the promo code elements at checkout, and you'll find that link in the show notes. Hello and welcome back to the Elements of Ayurveda podcast. It's Colette here for a solo episode today, and it's a Q&A episode, which I haven't done in a little while, and I'm answering questions that have been submitted by you, the listener. I have some great questions, so let's get straight into it. The first one is, what is Ayurveda's view on alcohol? And I'd also like to hear your perspective, Colette. Okay, great. Thank you. Great question. So alcohol is discussed in the ancient Ayurvedic texts and with detailed guidelines. Ayurveda does consider alcohol to be a toxin. However, it can be considered a medicine when prepared and used properly. Ayurveda understood the concept of hormesis, whereby ingesting a small amount of a toxin, be it alcohol or metals, as I discussed in episode on Ayurvedic basmas, episode number 299, these toxins can be beneficial in some cases to heal the body. Alcohol can have a rejuvenating effect, and Ayurveda has medicinal herbal wine called arishtas, which are used in healing protocols where small amounts are consumed. Now, like any medicine, when used properly and in the right amount, it becomes nectar to the body. However, if used improperly, that same medicine can become a poison. The gunas or qualities of alcohol are light, hot, sharp, sour, drying, and mobile or fast-acting. And these qualities of alcohol are the opposite qualities of our prime energy reserve, ojas. Ojas is heavy, cooling, smooth, sweet, unctuous, steady, and stable. These qualities of ojas promote sattva in the body and mind, bringing balance, calm, and harmony. Alcohol, with its opposite qualities, depletes ojas and depletes sattva, and it can promote agitation, anger, and of course, intoxication in excess. Now, liver function is very much affected by alcohol, as is the liver, which has to process this toxin. And in a recent episode, number 314, I detail the vital functions of the liver, this complex organ, which is involved in over 500 functions in the body. And if alcohol is consumed in excess, then liver function is going to be affected. In that episode, number 314, I also detail lots of beneficial herbs for the liver, so check that out. Now, Ayurveda gives us lots of guidelines on the consumption of alcohol, and lots of factors need to be taken into consideration, such as a person's age, person's constitution, their overall health, the digestive strength, the season, the time of day, and the occasion. Is it a celebration, or are you drinking alone? All of these conditions have an impact on how a person will digest, process, and feel the effect of the alcohol. Also, it's important to cleanse your body after alcohol. For example, hydrating well after consuming alcohol to flush out the toxin. And coconut water is a great drink after alcohol, as it has a cooling effect on the body to counter the hot and sharp qualities of alcohol, and it also helps to replace lost electrolytes. Now, here's some general advice on alcohol consumption. Be aware of your current health status, physically and mentally, and if it's a good idea to have alcohol, given your current health status, and taking into consideration the gunas or qualities and the Ayurvedic principle of like increases like. The gunas or qualities of alcohol are light, hot, sharp, sour, dry, and mobile. Therefore, if you're feeling light, feeling ungrounded and spacey, alcohol is going to increase that. If you're feeling sharp, you have a sharp tongue, you're feeling frustration and intolerance, alcohol is going to increase that even more. If you have that feeling of sourness in the body, acidity in the body, sour stomach, heartburn, alcohol is going to increase that. If you're feeling dry in the body, dry skin, excess thirst, constipation, alcohol is going to increase that. And if you have an increase in the mobile quality, feeling excess energy, overactive nervous system, can't sit still, physically and mentally feeling hyperactive, alcohol is going to increase that too. So then you know that alcohol will only increase these qualities and leave you feeling even more aggravated. So the advice would be to avoid alcohol and focus on bringing in the opposite qualities of heavy, cooling, smooth, sweet, unctuous, steady, and stable. Now, I have the perfect festive drink, and it's actually called Ojas. It's the most delicious, creamy, sweet drink, and it's made with milk, dates, almonds, ghee, cinnamon, cardamom, and nutmeg. These ingredients are considered to be sattvic and rejuvenating and have the opposite qualities to alcohol. It's like a healthy eggnog alternative. Also, once you have this milky drink, especially in the evening, there's less of a desire for alcohol after having this milky drink. So I'll put the recipe in the show notes, and trust me, you want to check it out. Some other advice on alcohol consumption. You need to be aware of how alcohol affects you the next day. It can leave you feeling hungover and also feeling down, feeling blue the next day. What's the setting or occasion for having a drink? Is it a joyful environment? Be aware of the type of alcohol you're drinking. Is it aggravating to your body type? Does it contain lots of chemicals? If you are drinking, opting for organic wines, for example, is always best. If you choose to have alcohol, make sure you prepare your body with hydration and balancing foods for your constitution and taking care of your body after alcohol by hydrating and eating pacifying foods. If you find that you're relying on alcohol as a crutch, then it's time to put some other practices in place to help you rather than relying on alcohol. Now, personally, I have pretty much stopped drinking in 2023. I haven't been a big drinker in the past decade, but as I have gotten older, I can really feel the effects of even one glass of wine on my body and mind. And really, it came down to being just not even worth it to be feeling blah the next day after a glass of wine. And I'm also in perimenopause, and I want to prepare my body for a smooth transition through menopause due to the fact that I have a high pitta constitution. And that means I could have a tendency towards a fiery menopause if my pitta is aggravated. Therefore, at this stage, I'm taking preventative measures to make sure that my liver is functioning optimally to allow it to process hormones and carry out all its other functions. And our liver has to process many toxins every day, which we can't control, like environmental toxins. And so my thought process is that at least I can support my liver by eliminating the toxins I can control. For example, alcohol or highly processed foods or toxins that are in personal care products. Cleansing the body at regular intervals helps the liver also. And especially after the indulgence of alcohol and food during the holiday season, it's a good idea to do a cleanse to help eliminate any toxins or any accumulation of the doshas and reset the body. And on that note, if you're interested in starting the new year taking care of your health and well-being, then check out my discounted group cleanse starting February 2nd, 2024. Even though this is a group cleanse, it comes with a 90-minute online consultation with me so that we will hop on Zoom and we will chat for 90 minutes and I will check on your current health status and then tailor the cleanse, the recipes, the self-care, the mindfulness, the yoga, etc. to you and to your lifestyle. So making sure that it's very doable for you and it's not causing any extra stress. And then we go through the cleanse as a group in a private forum. And it doesn't matter where you live because there are no live components to this cleanse. All the webinars are pre-recorded. So too are the yoga videos and the meditation and the pranayama tutorials. And we can just connect in the private forum. And it's a great international community. And it's great to have that support and accountability in the private forum as well. So check out the show notes for all that information, or just go to my website, elementshealingandwellbeing.com. For the group discounted cleanse, go to the events page. That's starting February 2nd. If that date doesn't work for you, you can choose a private cleanse. It's the same format. The only difference is with a private cleanse, you get to choose dates that work for your schedule and you have me one-on-one for support. And you'll find the private cleanse under programs. Okay, that was a great question on alcohol. And the next one I'm going to talk about is blood sugar, particularly low blood sugar. So the question is, I often hear about low blood sugar, and I think I may have this as sometimes I feel lightheaded and nauseous. Can you tell me what dosha is aggravated with low blood sugar? This is a great follow-up actually to the alcohol question, as alcohol can cause low blood sugar or hypoglycemia. The liver controls the amount of glucose or sugar in our bloodstream and stores the extra glucose, converting glucose into glycogen, which is stored in our muscles. When we drink alcohol, this process gets disturbed as the liver is now busy breaking down the alcohol. Remember that alcohol is fast acting. It really permeates the body very fast. And so the liver has to act fast in detoxifying the body. And therefore, instead of releasing glucose and maintaining the blood sugar level in the body, the liver is busy breaking down the alcohol, which has just pervaded the bloodstream. And this can lead to a drop in blood sugar, especially if you've had alcohol on an empty stomach. Hypoglycemia occurs when there's insufficient sugar or glucose in the bloodstream. Glucose provides the energy for the body to carry out its functions, and a lack of glucose in the brain can result in the body going into crisis mode and secreting adrenaline, the stress hormone, resulting in feeling lightheaded, dizzy upon standing, and maybe a racing heart or palpitations, tremors, nausea, sweating, feeling disorientated, confused, nervous, and in severe cases, convulsions or coma. This is why it's extremely important to have regular meals with adequate carbohydrates, protein, and fat to stabilize the blood sugar and energy levels in the body, especially if you have a tendency towards low blood sugar. You also have to be careful of fasting if you have low blood sugar, as this may result in hypoglycemia. Hypoglycemia is associated with aggravated pitta dosha, as increased pitta stimulates the insulin secretions, which lowers the blood sugar level, resulting in hypoglycemia. This is why extended fasting is not recommended for those with a high pitta or vata constitution. So here's some general advice if you're prone to low blood sugar levels. Eating regular meals and snacks if necessary, basically respecting your hunger signals, especially for pitta and vata dominant constitutions. following a pitta pacifying diet and avoiding foods or drinks that are pungent or spicy, sour or fermented, and salty, and favoring the sweet, bitter, and astringent taste. Licorice and licorice tea is great if you're feeling lightheaded or having other mild hypoglycemia symptoms, as this will increase your blood sugar levels. It will also increase blood pressure, so avoid if you have high blood pressure or hypertension. Of course, it's important to get advice tailored to your constitution or your Vikriti, your current imbalance, and especially if you're fasting or cleansing, as this will result in low blood sugar levels if it's not tailored to your specific needs. That was a great question, because I know a lot of people experience these low blood sugar levels when they're fasting, and there's always a lot of questions about why that's happening. And that's why it's really important to have a tailored approach to cleansing rather than a one-size-fits-all approach. So thank you so much for that question. Okay, next question is, what causes cellulite in the body? And are there any Ayurvedic tips to help remove cellulite? According to Ayurveda, cellulite is a result of manda agni, or low digestive fire in the fat tissue, the metadhatu. The agni in the fat tissue is responsible for processing fat. However, due to the low agni, the fat molecules remain unprocessed, and as a result build up in the fat tissue and push against the skin, weakening the dermis, resulting in those visible dimples or cellulite on the skin. The low digestive fire in the fat tissue can be a result of an accumulation of ama, or toxins, in the body, and therefore we need to look at the status of the jathara agni, our main digestive fire in the stomach. If our main agni, or digestive fire, is not functioning optimally, it can result in undigested food, which results in the buildup of toxins or ama in the body. This ama affects not only our main digestive fire, but also the other agnis in the body, including, in this case, the agni in the fat tissue, or metadhatu. We need to also implement an individualized holistic protocol, which includes the diet, lifestyle, and emotional supports. So you want to look at stimulating the digestive fire, a cleansing protocol to eliminate any accumulation of ama or toxins, a kapha pacifying diet, so avoiding sweet, sour, and salty tastes, and increasing the pungent, bitter, and astringent tastes, increase in exercise, mindfulness practices to help with the processing of any undigested emotions, especially in cases of emotional eating, and self-care routines like dry brushing and massage to stimulate the affected area. Of course, again, this is general advice, and all of this information needs to be tailored to each individual's constitution and their current health status. So there you go. Thank you for that question on cellulite. And then the final question today is, since the start of fall, I have been suffering from muscle cramps and spasms during the day and night. I have a Vata Pitta constitution. What can I do to stop this from happening? Great. Thank you for this question. There can be many reasons for muscle cramps and spasms. However, in this case, as you have a high Vata constitution and you're in Vata season, fall, it's more than likely to be a Vata aggravation. Ayurveda teaches us that cramps and spasms are caused by an increase in the cold, rough, and mobile qualities of Vata, resulting in stiff, contracted, rigid muscles, and the mobile quality causes spasms. In the moment that you're having the cramp or spasm, you want to hold the muscle and press your finger deep into the belly of the muscle for about 20 to 30 seconds. This pressure will help to relax the muscle. Breathing deeply while doing this, and the intense finger pressure and the following relaxation will help to increase the blood supply to the muscle. Now follow this with repeated contraction and relaxation of the muscles. For example, if it's your calf muscle, you could point and flex your foot. Muscle cramps or spasms could also be due to a lack of blood supply in the muscle, or a lack of calcium in the diet, or malabsorption of calcium, as calcium helps with muscle contraction. Low levels of calcium may result in more frequent cramps, and you may notice other signs of calcium deficiency, like brittle fingernails, tingling in the arms or legs, and perhaps bone-related injuries. Of course, these symptoms are also the symptoms of a Vata aggravation. And don't forget that Vata has an inverse relationship with bone tissue, and therefore aggravated Vata can result in decreased bone density, which can also be caused by a lack of calcium. Therefore, pacifying Vata in this case is extremely important, focusing on increasing the sweet, sour, and salty tastes and limiting the astringent, bitter, and pungent tastes, avoiding dry and light foods, and increasing hydration and good fats in the diet. Calming Vata as well with daily mindfulness practices and self-care practices like Abhyanga, the oil massage with sesame oil, ideally organic and cold pressed. And this daily self-massage will help relax the muscle fibers, improve circulation, lubricate the tissues, and calm that mobile quality that's causing the spasm. Also, having a hot shower or bath with Epsom salts after your Abhyanga would be perfect, as the magnesium in the Epsom salts will help to relax the body and the muscles. Also, increase calcium, magnesium, and potassium in your diet. Calcium-rich foods like leafy greens, almonds, fortified cereals, cheese, sesame seeds, and tahini. Magnesium-rich foods like nuts, beans, avocados, bananas, leafy greens, and whole grains. And potassium-rich foods like sweet potatoes, spinach, butternut squash, and beans. Now, this is general advice, but if it's a Vata imbalance, these suggestions will certainly help. And if any of you want further support, then please check out my online services, along with the group Digestive Reset Cleanse, starting on February 2nd, which I mentioned earlier. I also offer online consultations where I will put a strategy together for your diet, lifestyle, self-care, and mindfulness practices to help you maintain balance and prevent illness. So my consultations are very much educational. I want to empower you to take charge of yourself. So you come away from that consultation understanding your birth constitution, why you have any current imbalances, and what to do. You'll come away with a meal plan and a daily structure for your self-care practices and mindfulness practices and so on. And I make sure that it's tailored to your lifestyle so that it is not overwhelming. I also have educational program like the Daily Habits for Holistic Health program. This is a 28-day online self-paced program with the objective to help you live in tune with the circadian rhythm, and it educates you on you becoming your own healer. If you have any questions before you book my online services, please take advantage of my free 15-minute online Services Enquiry Call. We can hop on Zoom and I can answer any of your questions. I hope you found this episode helpful, and thank you to all those who submitted those great questions. And if you think that this episode will be helpful to family or friends, please share it with them. And if you haven't already subscribed or followed the podcast, please do so that all the new episodes in 2024, those new weekly episodes, will automatically download for you. And if you haven't rated or reviewed the podcast, I would really appreciate it. Wherever you listen to your podcast, this will help spread this wisdom of Ayurveda. You can find me on social media, on Facebook under Elements Healing and Wellbeing, and my new Instagram page, Elements of Ayurveda Podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in. And until next time, take good care of yourself, be well, and bye for now. Slán go fóill.